My grandson brought me home a Coca-Cola tonight. It says natural taste. He says the difference between this Coke and the other Coke is that this one has real sugar and the other one has some type of sweetener. Now he says that this comes from Mexico. I don't think so. I think he got it up here at Publix or Walmart. But anyway, it's a pretty good drink, and I might just try it again. Find yourself a good seat, friend. This one's worth hearing. The Prayer on Highway 52. John Hart, The Heart of Appalachia. There are prayers we speak out loud, and then there are the ones that slip out in a tired whisper, barely strong enough to reach the air around us, but somehow they still get heard. This story takes place on Highway 52, a long, lonely stretch of road that winds through the mountains, like a ribbon laid down by a tired hand. Most folks avoid driving it after dark. No lights, no houses, just trees and shadows and the hum of your own engine keeping you company. One cold December night, a lady named Linda Carter was driving home from work. She had stayed late, trying to finish up paperwork before the holidays. By the time she left, the sun was long gone, and the mountain air had that sharp bite that makes your breath look like smoke. Linda wasn't afraid of much, but she didn't like driving 52 at night. Still, it was the quickest way home, and she was tired, bone tired. About halfway through the mountain pass, her car sputtered, coughed, and died. Just like that. Silence. No engine. No heat. Just the sound of the wind and the ticking of a cooling motor. She tried the key again. Nothing. Tried her phone. No signal. Not even one bark. She sat in the dark, hands on the steering wheel, feeling that familiar knot of fear start to tighten in her chest. She wasn't a woman who prayed much, not because she didn't believe, just because life had been busy and faith had slipped into the background like an old photograph on a dusty shelf. But that night, sitting alone on Highway 52, she bowed her head and whispered the simplest prayer she had ever prayed. Lord, I need help. No fancy words, no long speech, just a tired woman asking for a little mercy. And you know, before she could even lift her head, she saw it, a soft glow in her rearview mirror. Headlights. But she hadn't heard an engine, no tires on gravel, no approach, just light. A moment later, an old tow truck pulled up behind her, one of those boxy ones from the 70s. Paint faded, headlights dim, but steady. A man climbed out, tall, thin, wearing a heavy coat and a knit cap. He walked up to her window and tapped gently. You all right, ma'am? His voice was calm, like he'd been expecting her. Linda explained what happened. The man nodded, popped her hood, and worked quietly for a few minutes. No small talk, no questions, just steady hands and the soft clink of tools. Then he closed the hood and said, Try it now. She turned the key. The engine roared back to life like it had never died. Relief washed over her so strong she nearly cried. How much do I owe you? She asked. The man shook his head. Don't owe me a thing. Just get home safe. He tipped his cap, walked back to his truck, and pulled away. No roar of an engine, no gravel spray, just gone. Linda drove straight home, heart still pounding, mind racing. The next morning she called the only tow company in the area to thank them. The woman on the phone said, Honey, we don't run night shifts anymore. Haven't for years. Ain't nobody out on 52 after dark. Linda didn't argue, didn't try to explain. She just hung up the phone and sat there at her kitchen table, hands trembling, realizing something. Sometimes God answers a prayer before you even finish speaking it. Sometimes help shows up in ways you can't explain. And sometimes, on a dark mountain road with no signal and no hope, a whisper is enough. This is John Hart, and you've been listening to the Heart of Appalachia.